everyone. So today is a sunny Saturday and I want to take you with me and show you what I'm doing this weekend. So I'm going to be going to the garden centre, which is very exciting. Who's mowing their lawn? And you know that you're getting older when you find a trip to the garden centre absolutely enthralling. So I'm going to go to the garden centre, pick up some plants and start to transition my garden into autumn and just finish like picking the tomatoes and things like that, because that kind of stuff is coming to an end after experimenting with growing over the summer. So going to be buying some lovely winter plants and things like that to spruce it up as we enter autumn. I am also going to be doing some cooking, which is another thing that I love to do on a weekend. So I'm going to be sharing with you the vegan whole food plant-based roast dinner that I'm planning and sharing with you what I am making, and also giving you tips so that you can do your own vegan whole food plant-based roast dinner. And also going to be making an apple pie, super simple, not complicated at all. And yeah, I'm going to share that with you in case it is useful for you. I am also going to be making some granola as well. So that's the first thing I'm going to do, is get cooking, because I've got no granola left because I left my other jar in the sun and it's gone all rancid and gross. So I'm going to be making a new batch of granola and enjoying that first and foremost. I always love to start my day by stepping outside, no matter the weather. I find it's really grounding just to take a breath and just to be in the presence of the earth and just calm your thoughts just for 1 second. This is a really great way to build meditation into your day and into your practice if this is something that is new to you. So I'd highly recommend just standing outside just for 10 seconds, and it's a great way to start to build that habit into your daily routine. I love to start my days by affirming just peace, love, that I can be of service to the world, and welcome in abundance of everything, joy, happiness, health and love, by opening my arms wide and bringing that into my reality. Also, making space to be grateful and finding gratitude for even the smallest things helps me to start my day off right. The first thing I'm going to be making is some of my favourite vegan homemade granola. To make this recipe, I am going to put some oats into a bowl along with some sunflower seeds and also some pumpkin seeds as well. I'm also adding in some flaked almonds, and also I would normally use pecans, but I didn't have any, so I'm going to be throwing in some crushed walnuts too. As you can see, this isn't measured. I've just thrown it in pretty randomly. I normally do this by eye, but I do have a separate video all about this homemade vegan granola that you can check out, so I'll link to that video below. Once I've put all of that into a bowl, the next thing I've done is melted roughly 3 tablespoons of coconut oil, and to this I'm adding another 3 tablespoons of maple syrup. You can add even more at this stage if you like, but I like to add a bit more to the granola once it's actually cooked and I'm eating it for breakfast. I'm also adding in roughly 2 teaspoons of vanilla essence and spilling most of that on the side. Then I'm going to add all of that melted mixture into those dry ingredients in the bowl and stir it through. Placing that mixture then onto around 2 lined baking sheets, I find that if you can spread it relatively thinly, it makes it a much more even bake and it's much more likely to brown beautifully in the oven, which is what we want. I'm going to pop that into a preheated oven at around 150, and I'm going to set a timer for around 15 minutes. After 15 minutes, I'm going to take it out of the oven and turn it just to make sure that it's getting an even brown and that the bit on the top isn't burning. Then it's going to go back into the oven for another 15 minutes. Once it's been in the oven another 15 minutes, I'm going to turn it again and put it back in, and I'm going to do this every 15 minutes until the granola has been cooking for roughly 1 hour in total in the oven. When it comes out, it should look like this, beautifully gold and brown, and that even beautiful colour is spread across all the granola. So for breakfast this morning, I'm going to be taking some of this fresh granola, actually while it's still warm out of the oven, which is a very luxury experience, and I'm going to be topping it with all of these amazing ingredients. So here we've got chia seeds, cacao nibs, coconut yogurt, we've got some raisins, and also lots of fresh fruits as well. This is why I love granola for breakfast, because for me it's just a blank canvas for me to add all of this goodness in. So the chia seeds, the cacao nibs, and then all of the fresh fruit as well. To me it's just this beautiful canvas to add all of this amazing goodness in. And if you even want to add even more extra seeds and things in there, like walnuts or something like that, go ahead and throw it in. So yeah, the more the merrier for me when it comes to granola. I've also found that this combination of fruits is just really beautiful. So strawberries when they're in season, although we're starting to come out of season now, blueberries, raspberries, bananas, and I also find passion fruit is just bliss on top of this granola. It adds that tropical sharpness which just brings the whole thing to life. Once I've put all of that into a bowl, the next thing I'm going to do is add the coconut yogurt and also some oat milk. So this is how I like to have my granola served. You can have it just with 100% coconut yogurt or 100% oat milk, but I found this magical combination of the two, and that is my favourite. Right now I'm loving this vanilla coconut yogurt by Coconut Collaborative, but I've normally used the natural one before. I've just found this vanilla one recently and I'm absolutely obsessed with it for breakfast, so that's what I'm going to be having today. And I really like to leave my granola to soak for 30 minutes to an hour before eating it, and that's my granola top tip. I just find that it makes everything so lovely and it just molds everything together into this like heap of goodness. I would say if you've got the chance to leave it to soak, definitely do that. So yeah, this combination works really well for me. So mixing that all together, I'm going to leave that on the side for a bit and then enjoy it outside. Once my breakfast has gone down, the next thing I love to do is yoga. For me, yoga isn't just a workout, it's a way to have fun, to play, to check in with my body, my mind, my soul, and to give that gift of movement to myself. I'm really enjoying exploring this practice even more in the past few years, and it's become something that is just a massive part of my well-being and daily routine if I want to feel at my absolute best. If you're new to yoga, I would highly recommend getting the Deliciously Ella app. This has changed recently and it's got a whole load of guided yoga classes as well as meditation and breath work and other workouts too. So if you're new to this, I'd highly recommend getting it. It's 99p for the mobile app, and I just got an email to let me know that they're doing a desktop version as well, so you can actually do the guided workouts on a bigger screen. So I can't wait to try that out. Of course, a firm favourite is also Yoga with Adrienne, so check that out on YouTube. That's obviously totally free. And my other personal favourite is Boho Beautiful. The classes that she does are absolutely exceptional, so I definitely check her out on YouTube as well. At the moment, I'm really exploring headstands and handstands and just having fun with this practice. This is something that I've always wanted to do in yoga, so I'm trying not to take it too seriously and just have fun with this. If anyone has any tips on how to do headstands and handstands, please let me know below. I am all ears to learn more about this super fun practice, and yeah, just get better at this, because there's something just really fun about being upside down and just something really freeing about doing this kind of stuff. So I'm totally into this right now for my yoga practice. So for lunch, I'm going to be enjoying some homemade soup that I had left over and also trying some of these Deliciously Ella crackers. I didn't mean to talk about Deliciously Ella twice in this video, but I'm going to be enjoying these crackers with some baba ganoush just for something a bit different and just to try something that's like a bit of a tasty snack. And I'm also going to have some avocado on toast with tomatoes chopped on top, some rocket, and also some sesame seeds as well. So this soup is made of courgette, red pepper, celery, onions and coconut milk. It's really easy to make, and I'll pop the recipe, which is featured in my previous video, below. On days like this, as we transition into autumn, I'm just getting every second of sunshine that I can on my bones. So trying to enjoy lunch outside is something I try to do whenever possible. And on this day, it's something that I'm lucky to be able to do. It is a super sunny Sunday. Sunny Sunday. Today I'm going to be heading out to the garden centre, so I'm just about to go out and get some plants for the garden and just start to transition it into autumn, so do a bit of tidying and buy some winter shrubbery, which I have no idea about, but I literally googled it on Gardener's World because basically I don't want my garden to go all boring and dull just because we're going into winter. So I'm going to go to the garden centre and I'm just going to bring you with me as I relax today, chill out, reset. I love being in the garden on days like this when it's sunny. It's kind of like coldish but crisp and sunny, and yeah, so I'm gonna show you what I'm doing and hopefully this will give you some inspiration on making your own lovely garden compatible with autumn and bringing some lovely autumn winter colours into your own garden. But I wouldn't take my gardening advice and tips too seriously because I genuinely don't know what I'm doing yet. So with all that fresh air in my lungs from doing that very basic gardening, the next thing I'm going to be doing is creating this epic masterpiece. So this is my whole food, plant-based, vegan roast dinner. I'm also going to be finishing off this amazing roast dinner with this also epic vegan apple pie, which is super easy to make. I'm going to show you how to do all of these things. So for me, a whole food plant-based roast dinner is not complete without lots and lots of vegetables. So I've got these lovely runner beans, I've got some organic carrots as well, which are just perfect for this kind of thing. I've even got some curly kale as well, which is super in season right now. These baby Romanesco cauliflowers I just found in the shop and I just thought I cannot resist them. So I'm going to be making a cauliflower cheese with them, and I'm going to be cheating today and using this vegan sauce by Sackler, which is highly recommended, or you can make your own white sauce as well, which is very easy. These are all the things that I'm going to be using for the apple pie. So I've got some oats, some flour, some coconut sugar, some cinnamon, and also some eating apples as well. So super, super simple again. So the first thing I'm going to do is prepare my baby new potatoes and pop them in the oven because they're going to take around an hour. I don't pre-boil them, I just pop them in with a bit of oil and salt. Then I'm going to steam my baby Romanesco cauliflowers in halves so that they're basically cooked through, just al dente. And then I've got my kale as well, which I've just put a tiny bit of garlic on, and I'm going to add some boiling water just to steam that through and cook that through. I'm going to add the lid and leave it for around 5 to 10 minutes, and then I'm going to add some liquid aminos on and also some coconut oil later on just to fry it off. So once the Romanescos are steamed, I'm going to add them to a lined baking sheet and basically just add on that jar of cheese sauce, evenly spreading it across each piece and adding in some extra water into the jar to get that extra cheesy sauce out of the bottom. To make this extra tasty, I'm going to be adding some extra nutritional yeast on top, which has got a very cheesy flavour. And then I'm going to be adding in some Applewood's smoky cheese as well, which is also really lovely. I don't eat a lot of vegan cheese. This isn't something I'd normally eat, but for this kind of thing, it melts really fantastically in the oven and it adds a really nice flavour. Once that's got all the extra cheese on top, I'm going to pop that in the oven next to my potatoes, which are roasting nicely, and I'm going to leave it in the oven for around 15 or 20 minutes, just so it's starting to brown and bubble. I'm excited to try these sausages with this dinner today. So this is part of the Plant Life range, which is new from Waitrose. So I'm just going to fry these in a bit of coconut oil and get those cooking on the stove as well. At the same time, I'm cooking my carrots and my runner beans, so I'm going to steam those lightly, and once my kale is cooked, I'm going to finish that off and basically get it all nice and crisp by adding some coconut oil on top of it and just frying that at a high heat so it just crisps up and it goes all tasty and lovely. With everything cooked through, it's time to plate up. So I've got my fantastic Romanesco cauliflower cheese, my baby new potatoes which have been roasted. I've got some steamed carrots, some kale, some runner beans, and those lovely vegan sausages as well. I've also got some homemade gravy. So I've used a mixture of the Callo vegan low salt gravy and also some mushroom gravy I had lying around that I've made before. And now I get to enjoy this amazing whole food plant-based roast dinner. Onto the apple pie. So all I'm going to do to make the apple pie is lightly chop some eating apples. I'd normally use cooking apples, but I don't have any, and actually eating apples work fine. So I put these into thin slices and I'm just going to line this loaf tin with those slices and just put them neatly stacked on top of each other until it's around halfway, 3/4 filled to the top. So that was about 5 or 6 small organic apples. Then measuring the dry ingredients, so I'm using around 50 grams of oats and around 75-80 grams of flour. I'm using spelt flour. I would double that quantity if you're using a standard circular tin. I've just halved it today because I'm only using a loaf tin, so it's quite a small area. I'm also adding in around 50 to 70 grams of sugar. I never really know because I don't like it that sweet, but most people would want more sugar than that. So I'd say around 50 to 70 is fine, but again, double it if you've got a bigger tin or you like it sweet. I'm also putting in around 60 grams of vegan butter. I'm using Flora, and then just mixing that all together until it's kind of like a breadcrumb-like texture. Once that's all done, I'm going to chuck in a shake of cinnamon, so around half a teaspoon or a teaspoon if you like yours very cinnamony. I'm just going to add it on top into that fine layer. You can see that I like to keep my oats chunky. To me, that's what makes the apple pie so lovely. So adding that on until it's all lovely and stacked up, and then putting on an extra fine layer of coconut sugar on the top so it browns beautifully in the oven. That's going in around 140-150 fan setting for roughly around 40 minutes, but it can take up to an hour. So I'd check it. It depends on your oven, it depends on the tin that you're using, but once it starts bubbling at the sides and going brown at the top, it's ready to go. And I dived into this pie so quickly when it came out of the oven that I didn't have a chance to get a picture when it was whole. But you can see that I absolutely love having this with Alpro custard or with my favourite vegan ice cream, which is Oatly vanilla, or you can just have it plain, or you can have it with natural coconut yogurt, whatever you like. But hopefully that rounds off your whole food plant-based roast dinner just as nicely. Thank you for spending the weekend with me. I hope that this was useful. I hope that wherever you are and whatever day it is, I hope you have a wonderful, magical, beautiful day, and I'll see you soon.